Okay, everybody. Well, my name is Dean, and this is Floatin' and Smokin'. This is going to be, I guess, if you want to call it, a beginner's course in curing shrimp. I think I've maybe only cured shrimp maybe once or so. So for those of you who are beginners out there, or just learning to get into this fishing in the Great Northwest, in the Portland area, Washington, and wherever else you might catch salmon and stuff. If I make a mistake, it might just be just like you. I've been watching some videos and everything, but I'm just kind of going to go off some common sense. I'm going to be smoking a Sancho Panza Extra-Fuerte cigar. I'm going to start off with some Pumpkin Patch Ale from the Rogue Brewery. I picked that up this fall. I think they grow the pumpkins there on their property, and they use them in the recipe and everything. And then I'm also going to be trying a little bit of Bowman Brothers. Is that small batch? Yep, small batch whiskey. Nothing too terribly powerful. I think it's like 90 proof or something. So, it's out of Virginia. So, all right, so we're talking about shrimp. So, I'm going to be doing some coon shrimp. Although now these don't look as good as they did the other day when I bought them. But these are about the size of the coon shrimp. They're kind of small and everything. So I wanted to use a shrimp that was a little bit bigger, some bigger prawns. And that's what I'm using. You know, sometimes that'll entice the Springer salmon or even a steelhead to bite. You know, if Ryan and I were going to go out fishing on Monday, and so I'm going to go ahead and start the curing now. It'll probably take about 2 or 3 days. Normally you can cure it for a little bit longer than that, but once you cure the shrimp, you can keep it in a refrigerator in containers kind of like this, or mason jars or something like that, and it'll keep for a very, very long time, months if not even years. So I think I was watching one guy, the shrimp he pulled out was from 2014, and the video was just from last year, I believe. So stuff keeps really well, so you can reuse the bait. You just got to make sure you kind of keep it cool and everything, keep it in a refrigerator. If you have your own man fridge like I do in the garage, which has most of the bait, beer, and stuff like that in it. So let's get this cigar lit real quick, and then we'll go ahead and start the process. Cigar's lit. Now it's time to open up the beer. Let's see here. What we got here for? Yeah, we got Dogs in the Neighborhood. Dedicated to farmers and fermenters. All brewed with roasted pumpkins. Doesn't give a. 6.1% ABV, 25 IBU, which is the hop bitterness of the hops, and the color is 33 SRM, which means it looks like a brown ale. All right, let's go ahead and pour that up. Oh man, I hope I forgot. I hope I brought my gloves out. Yes, I did. Okay. So you want to make sure, because these fish are like, think of a bloodhound on bodybuilder steroids. That's how well they can smell. I mean, they're like super, super, super good smellers. So you want to make sure that you wear rubber gloves when you deal with stuff like this. You also don't want to use any sink water unless, like, I guess I'm kind of lucky. My water, not only does it run through a big charcoal filter system, but it also runs through a UV light, so it almost kills almost everything. But the water that I'm going to be using, I also put in a one of those water kettles and everything. And a lot of times, once you did that, I did that this morning, and so the chlorine, if there was any left in there, got out of the water by then. So let's try this beer. Oh yeah, oh that's nice. I love me some pumpkin beer. All right. So what I'm going to be using, I'm going to be using the Procure Shrimp and Prawn Cure. That's what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using some water. I don't have as much water as they say because I totally forgot that I needed to cure up some coon shrimp. But I'm also going to add the Potskie's Bait Company halibut and rockfish nectar. But I think the owner said on this that this nectar is actually from them after they cook their salmon eggs or boil them in water. This is the leftover water. And so they just put a little dye in it and everything. So the shrimp are going to have not only a flavor of shrimp, but they're also going to have that salmon egg smell coming off of them as well. And a lot of times we know what we're really trying to do is just piss these fish off. They're not really eating the bait to eat food. They're eating the bait or our lures because they're pissed off and they're angry. So we're going to be doing that. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to use all of this. Tonight. So I'll go ahead and make both of them up. I'm just going to try to do about half and half. See what I got. And I can always just take a little bit of this water. Just pour a little bit of the water in there real quick. Put the lid back on. Shake it up really good. Try to break it apart. Try to get as much of it as I can. Oh, well, shouldn't have done that. Yes, this is not as sealed as I thought it was going to be. All right, so I'll shake it off to the side. All right. Yeah, I wish I had. No, I don't have anything. Some of this stuff is really stuck on the bottom. Let me see, I will go grab a stick. All right, I'm back. I'm back with a stick. I'm sure the salmon won't mind the flavor of a stick. Just want to make sure I get some of this. I've had this for a little while, so it's collected a little bit of moisture in there, and that's what made it stick to the bottom. All right. Now after I cure these shrimp, probably going to take them out of the cure on Saturday. And then after I do that, then I'm going to put some different oils and stuff on them, some different scents. I'm going to break the shrimp up so you can have like maybe one that has bloody tuna and garlic or anise. Another one that might have the Addicted Steelhead blend or the salmon blend or the winter chrome blend. And then, like I say, you can add a lot of different things. You can put a krill scent or shrimp prawn scent on there. Probably, like I say, you could use the bloody tuna from Procure. There's a lot of other different companies that have different scents that you can use as well. If you're friends with or you can always sometimes call these fishing guys and just ask them and say, hey, I'm new to this. You know, what were they biting on? What were you using? Any help will help me out, you know. And all they can do, the worst they can say is no. So let's go ahead and pour the rest of this water in here. I'm trying to do about half and half. Okay. Now, you just put the lids on, shake them up. This is a good test for me because I'm actually going to be laying these sideways in my fridge, so I want to make sure that they don't leak. But I am going to put some paper towels, or might put them in a plastic container that we don't use anymore. Probably should have put more in here for these shrimp, but as long as they're covered, I think we'll be fine. But what we're trying to do is we're just trying to dissolve some of this curing scent. And then what you do is you just take it, rotate it, and move it around about once or twice a day. And then slowly what will happen is the shrimp will absorb whatever you're putting in there. So I want to go ahead and shake this up really good. And then I'm pretty much going to pour this whole bottle into both of these containers. Some of the people on YouTube, what they'll say is, like they say, you use distilled water or river water. So let's go ahead and start putting some of these shrimp in. Like I say, these are the size shrimp I'm using. They're a little big, but some of them were small too, but you never know what might entice the salmon to bite. So, and even if the shrimp are kind of sticking out of the fluid, as long as I'm rotating them once or twice a day, they'll cure. You know, they say to make sure they're completely covered, but you know, sometimes, like me, I made a mistake and I didn't have enough water. But some of these, I'm gonna put them in there straight, so if they cure straight, you don't have to worry about bending them out if you're putting them on a prawn spinner. They'll already be straight. So I'm going to put these in, and then as soon as I'm done with that, I'm going to break up these coon shrimp. And actually, the first box of these shrimp that I bought, I was thinking the count might be good enough that the shrimp might be small enough, but they were big. They were way bigger than even this guy. So what I'm thinking about doing is thawing some back out on Saturday or Sunday. And then I'm going to bring some out on the boat, and we might do like a little butter garlic shrimp cook there on the boat. So everybody write in and let Ryan know if he wants us to do a cook on the boat. All right. And what you can do is you can just take and swirl that around. Like I say, if I really wanted to, the shrimp are so packed in there, I can just take it and just turn it upside down. So all the shrimp that were on the top that weren't quite in the solution are now in the solution, and the ones that were out of it or were in it are now out of it. But then all you have is you have all of this the stuff that's going to be going into your shrimp is now seeping down to the top of the container. Or you can do it sideways and just rotate it. I guess you could put a line on either side and just rotate it. So if you can see, it's a little bit more than half. And these shrimp have already started taking on the color of the dye that's in here. So let me go ahead and get these coon shrimp out of here. I need to find a better place to get some of these. These look little freezer dry. I'm just going to take and put the whole thing in here. Hopefully it'll go down. Kind of be gentle with them. Yes, I might have to give it some time. I'm going to be out here, like I say, I'm going to be out here smoking this cigar and everything, so I might just give it some time. And it's sitting, the shrimp are sitting in some water that they came in, which I hope it's salt water, but this will also let them slowly dissolve. So I'll just keep these here and then just keep washing them and everything. Let me go ahead and have another sip of my beer, but yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing. That's the first part of this. On Saturday, I'll reconnect with everybody and show you where I'm at. And once we pull the shrimp out, then everybody will get to see, and you'll get to see if I made a mistake, because there should be more fluid in here, but there's not. But we'll look and see how it is. I don't think, like I say, once a fish decides he's going to bite the lure, he's going to bite the lure. So I think we'll be fine. The cigar's good. I guess I can take my gloves off now. Like I say, some of the stuff I'm going to be using that you can use some of this water-soluble spray. I mean, this is like a krill oil, and the water-soluble spray is really good because it can break through some of the membranes or the shell of the shrimp and everything. It can go easier through that because it's a water-soluble instead of just an oil. So it's an oil that has, I forgot what the one guy from Procure said, but it has some something in it that allows it to pass through the membranes of stuff like corn, if you're going after sock meat or something like that. I'm gonna have to definitely put some of this addicted salmon blend in from Procure. Let's see what else. You know, like I say, you can use actual oil itself. You can actually put like a glow scent. If you wanted to use like an anchovy scent on there, or if you had a shrimp one that had a UV glow or anything like that, definitely do that. You can put that in there. If you want to do something other than hot pink or anything like that, they have some of these cures that are like a chartreuse. I know this says for herring, but you could probably do the same thing with shrimp. You could use the same thing. They also have the Brilliant Blue. You could use that as well. And you could use some of the other stuff. Like this is basically just a dye, but it's a UV dye that Poske's makes. And you could just put a little bit of that in there. Or if you had plain shrimp itself, like say that you cured the shrimp in a clear, you could put a little bit of this in there. And the one guy said, it'll look like the shrimp doesn't really have that green color to it, but we're talking in the UV spectrum. So these fish, that shrimp is going to be like have a bright fluorescent green glow to it in the water and everything through the UV spectrum. So that's most of the stuff. Like I say, we're gonna do stuff like once you put it on the lure, you can always put like a gel scent or something like that. You could use, like say, bloody tuna, anything like that. Procure, like I say, there's more. There's like a Mike's. Poske's does some stuff. There's several different other companies that do it, so you can pick and choose what you want to do, and then hopefully good luck fishing. So that's it for the shrimp curing video, and I'm gonna go ahead and, like I say, let this one go ahead and melt down a little bit out here, and then once the shrimp is down far enough, I'm gonna try to be gentle with it. See, it's already breaking apart. Look at that. So I might just take this bad boy and turn him upside down and kind of wiggle him down in there. And like I say, all that water is with those shrimp is going to dissolve in there, so that's going to give a little bit more liquid. These shrimp are a little bit smaller than the other ones. These are probably like 100 count, where these that I got here, these are like a 5160, so they're a bit bigger. So these guys will probably be able to fit all in the solution. So once again, I'm Dean, and really good friends with Ron, and we started the Floain N Smokin channel, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. And I'll see y'all on Saturday when I pull these shrimp out, and we'll see what we're looking at. And then I'll put some different scents on there. I'm probably going to have about 2 or 3 for both shrimp that I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to do all the same. I could have 6 different blends, but there's 2 or 3. I'm going to probably talk with Ryan and see what we might want to do. Might want to do one with the anise. I think a lot of guys, when these fish start coming in the rivers and everything, they're using a lot of garlic sand. Or, you know, you're a salmon, right? And you're going through and you start seeing all the same lures and all the same presentation, like herring, this or that. It's the one thing that stands out. So sometimes you need to think outside the box and switch lures or something like that. When Ryan and I went fishing couple weeks ago, we were using different things, and we were using Brad cut baits. We were using, I think I even put on a cut herring. We had some killer fish on, and then towards the end of the day, I put on a big thumper blade, spinner blade, and literally, I think within 5 minutes of that thing getting in the water, I got hit by a springer. So, like I say, they might be used to seeing these small little blades and they're fine with them now. And then they have a big one that's thumping through the water. It's getting out a lot of noise to them and vibration through the water, and it pisses them off. And he came and bit my lure. Of course, I didn't get him in. You know, he was only on for like 3 or 4 seconds, if even that. So, like I say, if you're out there, you're fishing, you get hit, leave that rod in the rod holder. I would say count to 10, almost count to 10. Especially if you're anchored up, what you can do is you can put your thumb on the bell for about 2 or 3 seconds, especially if they pull really hard. You can put your thumb on the bell. Like I say, you got 40-pound test. My lure got caught up on something. I think it was a log or something floating near the bottom of the water. And both Ryan and I were pulling on the line, and it finally released. And I didn't lose anything. I think what it did is it bent one of the hooks maybe, or something like that. I can't quite remember. But you had two full-grown men had their hands wrapped around the line pulling it as hard as they could, and it was on 40-pound fluorocarbon leader. So you know, you're not going to break your line, especially if you have 50-pound braid or 60-pound braid and 40-pound fluorocarbon leader. Probably most of those fluorocarbon leaders, they probably don't break until like 55. I know a lot of the braided line breaks well above normal range of what it's graded for. So like I say, hold down that bell a little bit. Don't move the rod or anything. Just put the bell down. If you have a good rod, you got a good reel, you got a good line on it, you don't have to worry about it breaking. But you're trying to really deep set that hook into that fish. So I will see you guys on Saturday, and I'm going to finish smoking the rest of this cigar and enjoying some whiskey and some beer, and enjoy floating smoking.